Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is still lucky to be Manchester United manager. Because not so long ago, we lost the Europa League final to Villarreal. And reflecting on that loss in the Europa League final, there is some Man United fans that are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out. Even before the final, there was some Man United fans that were Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out. But I presume there's still some Man United fans that are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in, and they believe that he needs more time at the club. We have endured very, very bad periods under Ole, when you can turn around and say he was lucky not to be sacked. The main reason he's still Manchester United manager is because he's a club legend. Disregarding being a club legend, I can almost assure he wouldn't have been Manchester United manager now. I can assure he isn't the long-term manager for us. Solskjaer has not yet won a trophy as Manchester United manager. We haven't won a trophy for 4 years. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. Next season is going to be massive for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think he is aware of that. Next season, he has got to exceed expectations if he is to remain Manchester United manager. Because if we start off next season bad, then the pressure will be back on him. Solskjaer has now endured 2 full seasons at Manchester United. And he's been in charge of Man United for 29 months. So that's over 2 years. Solskjaer did say it wasn't a successful season last season. And obviously he's accepted that. The summer transfer window is going to be huge for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And he's aware of that. Not long now until the summer transfer window opens. It opens on the 9th of June. The summer transfer window will be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. And it's very imperative he gets the players he wants to recommend in. Because I don't think he's been backed enough so far. But you know what? I'm expecting Solskjaer to get the backing he deserves. Because our board recently said they'll back Solskjaer with a new 3-year contract. And summer signings. The board have promised him like 4 new signings. And plus, we've got John Murtough. He's our director of football. We made the right decision bringing in the director of footballing, because I did mention that's one of the structural changes that we needed at the club. And as you all know, John Murtough is our first ever director of football. We've got Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director, and he knows the club through thick and thin. He endured 2 decades as a player for Man United. And we've also got Matt Judge, and Matt Judge has been part of the club for a long time. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has been given a 150 million transfer budget to buy around 4 or 5 new players. Obviously, our transfer budget will increase because I'm expecting us to sell some players in the summer transfer window. I do have my concerns about Ollie. My biggest concern about Ollie is his decision making. In a lot of his games at Manchester United, he's been tactically naive. But yeah, there has been some games as well where he's showed tactical flexibility, but he's got to show tactical flexibility persistently. Plus, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager. Before he was with us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're not a big club. He enjoyed 2 spells at Molde. And before then, he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. Reflecting how long he's been at Man United, Ollie, he's gained some managerial experience and he has learnt quite a bit on the job. I think Man United can challenge for the Premier League title next season if we recruit well in the summer transfer window. Don't forget, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. That's 8 years ago now. There is quite a lot of positives regarding Solskjaer. You know, in his second full season, he got us a second place finish. That's not an achievement finishing second, but you can see progress was made from Ole Solskjaer's first full season. We also went the entire Premier League season without losing away from home in the league, which is a good record. Ole also got us to the Europa League final last season. I know we didn't win it, but he still got us to the final. It was his first major final as Man United manager. He also got us to the FA Cup quarter-final and he got us to the EFL Cup semi-final last season. Ollie did well in his first full season, got us a third place finish and guided us to 3 semi-finals. As you all know, we've got Champions League for next season. Solskjaer has made good signings as Manchester United manager so far. He's spent almost £300 million. A lot of the players he's brought in, he's Daniel James, he brought him in, brought Wan-Bissaka in, brought Harry Maguire in. He also brought Bruno Fernandes in. He brought Odin Igalo in on loan, but Igalo left in January. And he also brought in Donny van der Beek, Alex Telles, Edison Cavani, Amad Diallo Traore and Facundo Pellistri. We'll loan Pellistri out in January. Another thing I've got to credit Solskjaer for, when he got appointed in as Man United manager, he assured that everybody would get their chances to express themselves, including the young players, and more or less everybody has been given their chances. Ollie's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he's come in. He's got rid of, obviously, Lingard, loaned him out to West Ham in January. We loaned Teden Mengi out, loaned Andres Pereira out, loaned Diego Dalot out, also offloaded Timothy Fosu-Mensah, and also offload Marcus Rojo out. And the other transfer windows Ollie's enjoyed, he's got rid of a lot of other players as well. Obviously, we let Ashley Young go. He was a long serving at Man United. He enjoyed like 8.5 years at the club. We let Valencia go. He enjoyed 10 years with us. He was a long serving player. Let Chris Smalling go. He was a long serving player for Man United. He enjoyed like 9 years at the club. Also let Matteo Darmian go. I think we loaned Joe Pereira out again, didn't we, as well? Also let Marion Fellaini go. Fellaini enjoyed like 6 years at the club. We also let Ander Herrera go. I think we made a mistake getting rid of Ander Herrera. Man United should have kept him. He enjoyed 5 good years with us. Also let Alexis Sanchez go. Let Romelu Lukaku go. I think we should have kept Lukaku as well because he did well for us. We loaned James Garner out, we loaned Dylan Levitt out, we loaned Tahith Chon out. I think we also loaned Dishan Burnett out. So, Ollie's got rid of around 13 players. And you know what? I didn't expect Solskjaer to do as well as he has done, so that's another thing I've got to credit him for. You know, when Solskjaer got appointed in as Man United manager, he was inheriting a lot of deadwood, and he's still inheriting some deadwood now. We did appoint Ollie in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. He's been permanent Man United manager since March 2019. We gave him the job permanently back in March 2019, reflecting how well he did as the interim manager. If we do eventually decide to sack Solskjaer, who will come in to replace him? I think we've got to get someone in with the big club arrogance, you know, someone who's got a proven pedigree, and someone who's just going to sue the strappings of the club, basically. Don't forget, at one point, Mauricio Pochettino was linked with a managerial role at Man United. But to be honest with you, it wouldn't really solve anything if we did eventually decide to sack Solskjaer, because when we have been inconsistent, not all of the blame stems from him, does it? Obviously, certain players have got to take responsibility. We know that Ed Woodward is going to be standing down at the end of the year. It got announced earlier on this year that Woodward resigned as Manchester United vice chairman. I presume all United fans were happy with the news regarding Woodward, because we've been very critical of him for a long time. Woodward's had a 16-year association with Man United. Woodward did say though, didn't he, last season, that he believes Solskjaer's the right man to lead the club forward, and he released a statement saying that the progress by Solskjaer and the players is clear. So who will be our new chairman to replace Ed Woodward? We obviously want to get the Glazers out of the football club. Last season, a lot of our fans were protesting against the Glazers at Old Trafford. Obviously, the reasons want them out is because the Glazers have put us in so much debt. Plus, they was planning to ditch the Champions League for the European Super League. And in general, I hate the way the football club has been run for a long time. Yeah, the Glazers have been at Man United 16 years. They bought the club for 500 million back in 2005. So we've got to recommend new owners in. As you all know, Ollie is our fourth permanent manager since Ferguson. The three managers we sacked since Ferguson was David Moyes. We sacked him after 10 months. He enjoyed the shortest tenure at the club. Moyes is the worst manager we've ever had. We finished 7th under the David Moyes era. Didn't win out under Moyes. We sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup. And we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years, despite him winning 3 trophies in his first season, plus getting us a second place finish in his first season. So you can say Mourinho did enjoy one good season at Man United. We're not even really known as a sacking football club. In recent years as well, we've overpaid for players and our recruitment's been poor. We've spent over £1 billion in the last 8 years, and we've brought around 36 or 37 players in. And in general, I think mistakes have been made in the last 8 years or so. That's why we've been nowhere near as consistent as we'd like to have been. We haven't been the same team since Ferguson. Like I said, no one's going to replicate what Ferguson did. And no one's going to last as long as Ferguson did. Ferguson enjoyed a 26-year tenure at Man United, won 30 odd trophies including 13 Premier League titles. So reflecting on that, Ferguson brought success to the club. But Ferguson didn't settle in straight away at Man United because he didn't win out in his first 4 years. By the way, Ferguson thinks that Solskjaer has done a good job. We are going to offload quite a few players in the summer transfer window. I've already gone through with you. I think the players should go. So I think David De Gea needs to go. I reckon now De Gea has had his years at Manchester United. De Gea has endured 10 years at the club, so he's been a long servant. A few years ago, De Gea was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. I think he's had around 8 good years out of the 10 years he's been with us, because in the last couple of years he has been a liability, reflecting on the calamitous mistakes he's made. Last season, De Gea produced his best performances after the Everton collapse in February, and he responded well to Dean Henderson getting the number 1 jersey. De Gea put a very good performance out against Roma in the semi-final. Obviously, cost us the Europa League final because he missed the penalty. Plus, he had 11 chances to save a penalty and he should have saved at least one of them. Shouldn't he? De Gea is obviously now our second choice goalkeeper, but he was our number 1 for a while. It recently said that Man United are preparing to offer David De Gea as part of a swap deal for Jan Oblak, the Atletico Madrid goalkeeper. Jan Oblak is valued at £70 million. I think he's got a buyout clause of around €120 million, and he's got a contract with Atletico Madrid until 2023. He's been at Atletico Madrid around 7 years, so he's been a long servant. Last season, though, it said that De Gea had made his transfer decision. He's preparing to leave Man United, and Man United is set to pay off his huge contract. De Gea's got 2 years left on his current contract, and he's on £375,000 a week. I did mention that there's a very good chance he'll go back to Spain. Main explanation's born in Spain, began his footballing career in Spain, his relatives are from Spain, his girlfriend's from Spain, and back in 2015 he was very close to joining Real Madrid, but due to a fax machine on deadline day, the deal never materialised. Sergio Romero, I think we should offload him. I'm expecting us to offload him. He doesn't get in our team. Romero's like our 3rd or 4th choice goalkeeper. The vast majority of his appearances have come in the cup games. Lee Grant, I think we also need to offload him. I recall Lee Grant making 1 appearance, and that was against Astana a few years ago. I think we also need to offload Phil Jones. Phil Jones has always been inconsistent. He doesn't get in our 11 and he's been out of injury for a long time. Phil Jones is the only outfield player that's still here from the Ferguson era. He's endured 10 years at Man United, so he's been a long servant. I think we need to loan Brandon Williams out to obviously gain more experience and to get a lot more opportunities, because Brandon Williams seldom plays for us. He's our 3rd choice left back. Played a lot of games the season before last. That's only because Luke Shaw had a couple of periods out with injury. Diego Dalot, I think we need to get rid of him permanently. He's out on loan with Milan at the moment. Andres Pereira, I think we'll be looking to get rid of him permanently. He's out on loan with Lazio at the moment. Nemanja Matic, I want us to offload him because he's not one of our first choice midfielders and he still gets his chances though despite that. And I've always had my strong reservations about Matic because he's always been a static player and plus he's ageing up. Matic signed a new 3-year deal at the start of last season. Probably made a mistake giving that new 3-year deal. Matic has been at the club around 4 years now. Got him in a deal worth 40 million from Chelsea back in 2017. Donny van der Beek, I think we also need to offload him. Not to do with him being a bad player, it's just that he doesn't get enough starts at Man United. I recall him only making 4 starts in the Premier League last season. Most of Donny van der Beek's appearances come from the bench. But he said not so long ago that we will reject any offers for Donny van der Beek. So reflecting on that, we are reluctant to let him go because apparently Solskjaer's got big plans for him. To Donny van der Beek's credit, he put a very good performance out against Wolves on the final day of last season. He's versatile, he can play in 3 different roles. And you know, we got him last year in a deal worth £40 million. He's enjoyed 1 full season now at Man United. Juan Mata, I think we need to offload him. I'm expecting Juan Mata to go. Not so long ago though, Solskjaer did say that no decision has been made on Juan Mata's future. Juan Mata's current contract expires soon, but there is an option to trigger his contract for a further year. Juan Mata seldom plays for us. But I think he's had a good career at Man United. He's been at the club 7 years now. Got him in a deal worth, 40 million from Chelsea back in 2014. In the first part of last season, he rejected an 18 million a year contract offer to play in Saudi Arabia. Juan Mata, you can put him in the number 10. You can also put him out on the right-hand side. He's in his 30s now and he has lost that yard of pace. Martial, I want us to sell him in the summer transfer window. A lot of United fans want Martial to go because he's no longer good enough to represent the club. He was out of form last season. The chances were there for him, but he didn't convert them. Obviously, he's got a knee injury at the moment. He's been out with that knee injury for a while. Like I updated you though yesterday, he said that Solskjaer has made his decision on Anthony Martial's future. He's told the Glazers he'd like Martial to stay for another season. He believes he's got a big role to play. You know, Martial has been at Man United now over 5 years. He's probably had 2 good seasons. He was good in his debut season under Louis van Gaal. And he was good the season before last. He got voted Players' Player of the Year, didn't he? We got him in a deal worth like 58 million from Monaco back in 2015. I reckon we'd get around 25 million for Martial if we sell him this summer. But there's a lot of players that will stay at Man United, and I reckon there's quite a few players that have got long-term futures at the club. Dean Henderson, he'll stay. Obviously, Dean Henderson is our number 1 goalkeeper. We made the right decision putting him as number 1 because Dean Henderson has done well in a lot of the games he's been in goal for. And plus he's got that experience behind him because he did enjoy 2 successful loans at Sheffield United and he's also had other loan spells before. Before the start of last season, he signed a 6-year contract with Man United, so reflecting on that, he committed his future to the club. Luke Shaw, he'll also stay. He was our best player last season. Harry Maguire, he'll stay. Had some good games last season, but he's also enjoyed poor games as well. Harry Maguire is obviously got ligament damage in his ankle at the moment. Obviously couldn't play in the final. It's a bad injury that Harry Maguire has got, and he was a big miss towards the end of last season. Eric Bailly, obviously we now know he's staying because not so long ago he signed a new contract with Man United until 2024. Lindelof, I think he'll probably stay potentially past the summer, but I kind of sure he hasn't got a long-term future at the club. I think Axel Tuanzebe will stay now. He put some good performances out towards the end of last season. A lot of United fans are saying that Tuanzebe should get more opportunities. The best game I recall Tuanzebe having was PSG. But he also put a good performance out against Wolves on the final day of last season. And I think he did quite well against Leicester in the 2-1 defeat. Wan-Bissaka, he'll also stay at the club. Defensively, always been superb, but he's still got to show more in the final third. And there were some games last season where Wan-Bissaka did show some good attacking intent to his credit. Pogba could stay with us. There again, he could leave. We'll have to see what happens, but I hope he does stay. There's obviously been rumours of a Paul Pogba and Cristiano Ronaldo swap deal. McTominay, he'll stay with us as well. He's a decent player, McTominay. Still young, got a lot of development in him. His best game last season was the game against Leeds when we won 6-2. He made the difference in that game because he scored 2 goals in the first 3 or was it 4 minutes. Just after the first lockdown last year, McTominay signed a 5-year contract at Man United. He's been part of the club for a long time. Fred, I think he'll stay with us, but I can assure he hasn't got a long-term future at Man United. I've got my reservations about Fred. The worst game he enjoyed last season was the 3-1 defeat to Leicester in the FA Cup quarter-final. We overpaid for Fred. We got him in a deal worth 52 million from Shakhtar Donetsk. Bruno Fernandes, obviously, he's staying with us. Not so long ago, it said that Fernandes is set to sign a new contract with Man United, worth £200,000 a week. So we're going to be doubling his wages. Fernandes did admit he's been happy with the progress of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's team. Mason Greenwood, he'll also stay with us as well. He's been an absolute revelation since he broke into our senior squad. Despite him going a long time without scoring a goal. Marcus Rashford, he'll stay with us. I'm having concerns about Rashford, to be honest with you. He was poor towards the end of last season. He played in the Europa League final. Had a very, very good chance that he should have converted. He did sustain a knock in that final and Solskjaer should have taken him off. We need to keep Marcus Rashford out on the left because that's where he's more effective. I'm not keen on him on that right-hand side and I'm not keen on him up top. Edison Cavani, he's going to be staying, obviously, for next season because not so long ago he signed a 1-year deal with Man United. Fabrizio Romano did confirm that. Daniel James, I think he's also going to be staying as well. There was a period last season where Daniel James got his way back into the team and he was getting a lot of games under his belt. But there was a long period prior to that where he was out of the team. So, there you go. Yesterday, I give you the news on Tom Heaton. Tom Heaton is going to be Manchester United's first signing of the summer. We're set to sign Tom Heaton on a free transfer. He's agreed a 2-year contract with Man United with an option of a further year. Fabrizio Romero said Tom Heaton will undergo a medical and sign as a new Man United player in the next weeks. And the deal is done and completed. Tom Heaton used to be at us, didn't he? You know, came up our academy. Last week, Tom Heaton said his goodbyes to Aston Villa, and Tom Heaton was released by Aston Villa. It got confirmed on Aston Villa's official website. In my next video, I probably will be giving you an update on some more transfer news. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.